Hi, Pastor Kip here. Many years ago, when I first started out as a Methodist minister, the bishop at the time in North Alabama would host an annual event he called the Bishop's Convocation. It was a time when all the clergy in North Alabama would come together, and there would be seminars for professional development and learning opportunities. And most years, the bishop would host a special guest from here in America or even other parts of the world that would come and share with us that we might have an opportunity to interact with and learn something from. One particular year, the bishop hosted Dr. Walt Callistad. Walt Callistad was the senior pastor of the Community Church of Joy Lutheran Church in Glendale, Arizona, which at the time was the largest Lutheran church in America, averaging from 10 to 15,000 on a Sunday. Dr. Callistad had also written several best-selling books which were standard reading fare in seminaries and minister studies in those years. So I was excited to have an opportunity to get to know him, get to meet him, and get to learn something from him. In that very first presentation that he made, the place was packed with clergy wall to wall, and I don't remember everything he said, but I do remember one story he shared that had really burned its way into my heart. Callistad said that one day back in Arizona, he decided to have his car washed. And he went to one of those car washes where you drop your car off with attendants and they give you a receipt and they take care of the car, and then you go inside. Sometimes there's windows where you can watch the car coming through the brushes, and you can have a snack even, or maybe purchase some item that you need for your car. And he was just waiting for his car to be cleaned, and he noticed there on the corner of the counter in the office was a turnstile of cassette tapes. Now, this has been way before CDs and iPads and iPods and Sirius XM, so this was state-of-the-art music at the time. And so he was turning the turnstile, looking, and decided on a couple of cassettes that he wanted. If I remember correctly, it was the greatest hits of the Beatles and one by the Little River Band, I think. He purchased the cassettes, paid for the car wash, and when the car was ready, he drove off. When he got down the road a ways in his new clean car, he was looking at the receipt and he realized that she had not charged him correctly. She had not charged him enough. The price of the cassettes, he had not paid enough for them. So he turned around and went back to reconcile the bill to make sure that he had paid the right amount. And when he walked back into the office and saw the young lady behind the counter, he said to her, he said, you didn't charge me correctly. I didn't pay enough for these cassettes. Here's the receipt. She smiled and looked at him and said, I know that, Dr. Callistad. He said, oh, you know who I am? And she said, yes. She said, I visited your church this past Sunday for the very first time. And when I saw you coming in, I wondered if you were the real deal, if you were genuine, if you were the person that you say you are. So I messed with the bill a little bit and wondered if you would return to reconcile it. Now that stayed with me because Callistad said that we are sharing our witness of Christ in ways that we don't even realize, that we are giving off that vibe of Christ to people when we're not even aware of it. It reminds me of what Jesus says in Matthew chapter 5, verse 15 and 16, when he says, you would not take a lighted candle and hide it under a basket, but rather you would put it on a lampstand so all the people in the house can benefit from its light. Then Jesus says, in the same way, let your light shine so others can see it. Reminds me of the song I learned when I was a kid in Sunday school. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. Every day and every way, we should let the light of Christ shine through us. And we should be aware that even when we are unaware of the circumstances around us or who's watching or who's listening, we are sharing the light of Christ in positive ways that can make a difference in their life. So may the Lord go before you to show you the way, beside you to befriend you, behind you to encourage you, and above you to watch over you, and shine within you to give you the power to turn your struggles into stepping stones. This has been your Faith Lift for the week.